friends, Alan Bryce here, and welcome to my DAOpunks Cohort 3 update video number 4. Today we are going to take a quick detour from expanding on the train idea that I mentioned in the last video. It might work. I was thinking about this a little bit on the way over. It might work using that train analogy. Let's see where we get. I'll try to keep it short today, so let's get right into it, continuing to explore the idea of DAOpunk, that is freeing yourself from the drudgery of default work. And for me, I have expanded that out with freeing yourself just from the default. And you can add your own noun after the end of that. Now this video is on the default connection. This topic can be polarizing and divisive, and a lot of you might have strong opinions on it. I know I do, so we will just kind of put out some ideas and then leave a little room for thought on everyone's part. So again, with our framework, keep in mind, are you playing the right game? If not, change the rules or change the game. And if today's location is a little lackluster, it's actually kind of windy today. Let me see if I can put this on without doing too much damage to everyone's ears. Is that the right way? Oh, and if today's location is a little lackluster, well, I was originally going to record from the rodeo that I went to earlier this week, Tuesday.
Top 20 in the world. Right now for Jackie Ganner. 1 and 2, we're good. You can start cheering a little early. Now get loud. 17-37.
But it was a little too close to my last video date, so I don't really have time enough to get a script together. Then I was going to record from the trampoline park that I was at yesterday, but I was having too much fun.
Yo!
Old man still got it. just way too much fun. And today, well, it has been quite rainy, actually raining off and on all day. I was out looking around. We had a little bit of break in the rain. I didn't want to go too far in case it got into the rain again. So I am here at a location that I have frequented quite a lot in the past few weeks, and that is one of the local community college's campuses, where, if you can see behind me, the people be playing the pickleball. That's right, I have gotten into pickleball in a big way. As soon as I found out these courts were here, they used to be tennis courts. They were converted into pickleball courts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we have 12 here. So I picked up a racket or two, probably two. Most definitely two. I don't know why I said it like that. I got a couple rackets and balls, and I've really been enjoying playing pickleball with my family while I have been here. So I thought, you know what, it's close by. Why not record from the pickleball courts at the college campus? So here we are. So to kind of illustrate today's default of connection, I want to share a story from yesterday that started in that very trampoline park that I just mentioned. You see, yesterday was a day of harassment. Yes, I was being harassed by several different small children all throughout the day. And the first one was from the trampoline park. I haven't written this down. If you're reading the blog post of this, or I guess you're not reading the blog post of this because you're watching the video, but on the blog post, I'm just going to put the bullet points. So you really have to watch this video, lucky you, to get the full story. So I'm just going to kind of shoot from memory, stay as accurate as possible for for historical sake. But yesterday, like I said, I was at the trampoline park. I took my family and I met one of my best friends from high school. So we were just kind of bouncing around. By the way, we're the only 2 adults that actually got the wristbands to jump on the trampolines. All the other adults were too busy on their phones and whatnot. And this kind of ties into today's theme. We were jumping. I probably spliced in a clip of me doing some pretty sick tricks on the trampoline. Just, you know, I still got it. I still got it. This middle-aged guy still got it. But, you know, we were jumping around and we were taking time to just stand on the sidelines and chat to each other about, you know, catching up, what's been going on in our lives. And there was this one kid, I don't know, he was maybe like 8 years old. He's kind of following us around. Every so often, he'd just come up to me like really close, like not in my face, because obviously I'm taller than him, barely, but I was taller than him. And he's just like chest out, puffing his chest, like kind of giving me that "you want to go, bro" vibe. He did this like 3 or 4 times. And then I took my youngest, my 3-year-old, over to like kind of a kiddie area, and he was in there too. And he came up to me just like real aggressive with this giant foam block, and he said, he looks at me dead in the eyes. He says, "I'll throw this block at my face." And I was like, "What?" He said, "I'll throw this block at my face." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna throw this block at your face." He's like, "Ugh," and he did, and he headbutted the block, and then it fell to the ground, and then he did a face dive into the block, and then just scurried off. I'm like looking around. This is another thing. I'm like looking around for this kid's parents. Couldn't tell who it was, but in the back of my mind, I'm just like, this is a con, isn't it? You're just waiting for me to throw this block at your face, so then your dad can come up and punch me in the nose. So that was kind of the first instance of harassment. It was just totally weird. This kid it's like he wanted to fight me, but all along he just really wanted me to throw a giant foam block at his face, I guess. So we left the trampoline park, we went and got some dinner, and then we ended up at an outdoor park that's close to where I'm staying. My kids love it. We call it the Red Park. It's quite large. Bunch of kids there last night. So we went out to a place that had fountain drinks. So I still had, well, what I did is I said, okay, everyone fill up on these drinks before we go to the park. So we had like 4 or 5 fountain drinks that we carted with us to the park. We get there, we kind of go around to the back. I had like a picnic blanket, and I keep a duffel bag with like a dodgeball and a football and a frisbee and all this kind of stuff, and my pickleball equipment. So I set up the blanket. I finished my drink. I kind of take the lid off. I chuck the ice out, and I hear this kid like just crying, just whining. I turn around. I'm still kind of holding the lid and the cup, and the kid comes up to me and tries to yank the cup out of my hand while he's crying. I don't know. He's holding it. He's trying to drink. It's empty. I don't think he realized what's going on. Some kid older, must have been his brother, came over to try to grab him. I'm like looking around like, is anybody else seeing this? My friend that I was talking about from high school standing right next to me, giving me a perplexed look. I said, no, this is mine. There's nothing in here. This is mine. And then the kid pinches me like, ow. And then he snatches the cup again. And then there's nothing in there, so then he just throws it at me. It just like scampers off. I was like, what just happened? Again, I'm looking around, I was like, where are your parents? I happened to look over at another group that was kind of with us next to their dogs. And like, don't look at us, he's not ours. I was like, okay. So that happened. Then my son came back with one of our dodgeballs, and he's like, this kid's trying to take this dodgeball from me. This is a different kid. So the other kid must have been like 5 or 6. This new kid was about 4 or 5. I'm just guessing here based on experience. He's standing, I don't know, 10 feet away from me. My son came back and gave me this dodgeball. I said, this kid's trying to take the dodgeball. I was like, you guys don't want to play together? He's like, no, he's just trying to take it from me. So you hold it. So my son gave me the ball, and the kid was like looking at me, pointing, going, I don't think this kid or the previous kid spoke English, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't hear a lick of English out of them. But he just pointed at me and making grunting noises at the ball, and then finally said, ball. And I said, you want to play this ball? He's all, making this noise. And I wasn't going to let him do it, but he seemed nice enough. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I turned around, and then I turned back, because this had been like, he had been pointing at me for, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. I turned around, and he's just like doing this at me. Like, okay, I was like, fine, I'm not letting you play with my ball now, buddy. And then he just kind of did that, and he scampered off, okay? And then about 10 minutes later, I'm playing catch with my friend. We had one of those mini footballs. My kids didn't want to play, so I was like, you just want to play with me? He's like, sure. And that other kid came back, and he is, because we set the rest of the drinks in the grass next to our blanket in my duffel bag, he's in there grabbing one of the other drinks, trying to drink from it. So I run over to him again. I say, hey, this is ours. Maybe you can find your family and get your drink. And he just whined again. Didn't pinch me this time. Scampered off. I went back to play. I don't know. He like lapped. He like lapped the park. Came back around, and this time because I had gotten rid of that drink because he half spilled it. One of our last drinks, he didn't even bother to pick up this time. He was just going full squat, like with his arms behind his back, bent all the way down to the ground, trying to drink out of our next drink. And I was like, what is going on? Maybe I stepped in something and it just said, harass this dude. It was the pheromones or something. And then the very last kid, this wasn't so much of a harassment. It was just kind of cute. Like I said, me and my friend were playing catch, and he's just kind of standing, again, about like, I don't know, 10 feet away by a tree. And, tossing the football, and he's all, hey. I just heard somebody say, hey, and I was like looking around. This kid was kind of blending in with the tree, and I heard it again, hey. Like, who is talking? Then I hear, yeah, I'm looking at you. I was like, what? I'm looking at you. And I look over, he's like, are you talking to me? And he's like, yeah. I said, okay. Can I help you? And he's like, yeah, can I play catch with you? And I was like, okay. So this kid was probably like 8, had a soccer ball next to him, and we had a football, mind you. So we did kind of the triangle thing. Me and my friend from high school and this kid were just playing catch. And he's just very nonchalantly, he says, I don't really play football. I don't like it. I was just like, what? He's like, I mostly play soccer. And I'm like, well, yeah, the soccer ball. And I was like, okay. My son comes over. He's hey, Dad, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm playing catch with this kid. And he's all, actually, I asked his name. I was like, well, what's your name? He's, my name's blah, blah, blah. And he's, I'm blah, blah, blah. This is my friend. And my son's all, why? I was like, I don't know, because he asked us, do you want to play? He's like, yeah, I do. So we're just kind of playing catch in this little triangle here. That one was kind of cute. That wasn't harassment. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that I think nowadays, like, all this crazy stuff was happening to me. I got this kid trying to steal all my drinks like Gollum, another kid flipping me the bird because I wasn't quick enough to react and giving him a ball, another kid screaming like he's in the military, throw this block up my face. I think nowadays it feels like that most people would kind of grab that magic rectangle out of their pocket, assuming they weren't on it already, and take to the net to share in the harassment and the hijinks. But I didn't. These were my moments. You know what I mean? And the moments to share with those who were there with me. And this is actually the first time I'm sharing the story outside of telling my wife and then my folks when I got back to their place. So we talked about default and default connectedness. And I guess what I was really getting at here is, I said the default life. And for me to escape the default, wow, somebody's racing go-karts on this street over here. I'm funny, when Fast and the Furious right on College Boulevard here. So I was talking about escaping default life. And for me to escape the default life, I need to really protect these moments I have. I need room to think. I need room to reflect, room to take it all in. And this kind of flies in the face of trends for the last, 10 or 15 years or so. And especially, I think a lot of you would agree with me, the last 2 or 3. So I guess what I am trying to say is just because most of us are working online, operating out of Discord and Twitter, it doesn't mean we have to be online most of the time. Yet, most of us are. All waking hours, connected, but to what, really? And this kind of ties into mental health. I know that topic comes up a lot. There were some other people in the DAOpunks cohort 3 in the application videos. They were talking about wellness and mental well-being. I think this is very important, and I get it. The FOMO is real. I mean, I was in like over 100 Discords during the bowl, just like, what's going on over here? I'm looking for this opportunity. What's interesting? What are you building? What are you, it's a video game called, like, what are you selling? What are you buying? It was hard. It was hard not to just be mesmerized and hypnotized by everything that was going on in Discord alone. And then on top of that, crypto Twitter. So yeah, and I know the FOMO is real. I get it. So, do stay connected. I'm not telling you not to stay connected. Just stay connected to what is important, what's truly important. But, remember to take time to disconnect the rest. Disconnect some of those freight cars. How about that? I did work in the train. You know, everyone has their phone, they have their watch, they have their whatever, their ear things, their ear headphones. Never without one or all of them. We are rapidly losing our ability to be alone with our own thoughts. The new default, again, the theme of default, escaping the default, is perpetually scrolling, perpetually distracted, perpetually anxious, tired, perpetually on edge, perpetually connected. And frankly, it's scary. It seems nobody wants to be where they are right now. Everyone is just wanting to be someone else, somewhere else, doing something else. And if this is you, because for me, for a while, I felt it very much was, it sounds to me, again, like you are playing the wrong game. So that theme is coming back. I'm wrapping, all these videos are just, it's doing things. I know what you are all saying, all three of you watching this video. These tools are what makes how we, or at least a lot of us, work possible. And you're right, you're absolutely right. Like, I would not be here today talking to you right now if it wasn't for Discord and for arguably Twitter. But the key word here is tools. They are just that, and they should be treated as such, in my opinion. And, all the other garbage that you're getting into, is that really doing you any favors, I guess? So you might ask yourself, in this relationship, who is the real tool? You or your ability to connect? Now, again, I don't want to be a complete Debbie Downer here, so go ahead and enjoy the fruit of what technology has brought us. It's been fantastic. Again, I wouldn't be here talking to you today if it wasn't for all of this fantastical stuff. But again, maybe every once in a while, ask yourself, am I playing the right game? And I just realized I didn't really write an outro for this one. So before it starts to rain again, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks again for joining me, and I will see you all three of you, again next week. Be well, friends. Later, taters. God, I think I skipped a whole paragraph and a half here. What are you gonna do? Not gonna do it again.